Nice.
Anyways, man. Well, there's enough people in here, man. Let's kick it off,
Yeah,
Lance.
let's do
Last
this.
show of the year. We have made it 365 days, another turn around the sun, and here we are, man. So I think today we wanted to focus mainly on wins, losses, where we're headed with it in the future. Some of you guys probably heard some of it. Some of you didn't. That are trickling in the room late. But yeah, man, I'll let Lance take it away, and we'll start
Yeah,
filling in the gaps. We're gonna keep
let's
this
do
show light,
this.
man.
Yeah, this is our technically we have one more show with Thomas Fanner next week.
Yeah,
That's going to be a really good one too.
this is our last.
Our as a the last homie show of the year, guys. And I don't know if
For
you've noticed,
those
man.
that don't know,
Yeah,
sorry, man. For those that
no, go
don't
ahead.
know, it's Lance, me, Justin, Juan. Juan's not
Yeah.
here, but we kind of started as a group in Sub Two and met up in an elephant challenge, and we
Mhm.
started this podcast, and it was literally like, hey, man, let's just start this podcast, and it's grown so much, and I think all have grown as individuals and a group so much over the course of the year. So,
Yeah.
anyways, back
No, yeah.
to
It's great. I'd actually like to touch on that because I one of my goals in December was to start my own podcast. And then I was like, well, maybe I should co-host a podcast. Less than 30 days go by and Damon's like, Lance, you want to co-host this thing with me? And I was like, inside I'm like scared to death, but I'm like, yeah, yes, I do. I'm so glad I did too, man. And then Justin and Juan ended up joining us, but it's been such a journey, guys, this year. We joined Sub 2 and Gator in October and November of last year, and it's just been a one hell of a ride this year. Um, we set goals every year, my wife and I, usually late December, mid December, and I'm not really good at going back and looking at them every week, every once a month or anything. I don't think most people are, but the thing is that you're writing it down and you're seeing it, it's in your head. I do like to do vision boards. I'm a big fan of that. So when I close my door in my bedroom, boom, I got my vision board with my bah, 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 quotes and the like my some of my goals up there, photos of, like a big log cabin and things that I want to accomplish, things that I would like to purchase, and I think it's really important to have some kind of a visual of that. So, but it's just been a wild ride for us. We set some goals, we hit a lot of them, we missed some. Haven't been super consistent on some of them, but it's just been crazy, crazy. I would have never thought in a million years that I would be doing a regular podcast, Zoom podcast, getting invited on to this big stage tomorrow with Pace, with the 12 days of Christmas, like doing Zooms with Carly and stuff like Grundeman. It's just crazy to me that this has all been happening this last month or so. I'm super grateful for everything. We set out to do about $20,000 a month, and we ended up we started hitting that goal about I set that goal to hit in June. That was my on my paper. And on paper, like, we were there, but we hadn't realized that the bank account hadn't seen it yet. So since September we've done over that and we've hit, around that number since then. So I'm super grateful and blessed to be part of Sub 2 and Gator, man. It's been a wild ride this year. Lots of ups, lots of downs, lots of anxiety, some sleepless nights, both from being excited and from being anxious about deals and just speaking and certain, things. But I wouldn't change it for the world. My life is completely different, from joining Sub 2 and Gator. And it's just been a lot of fun, guys. We actually have acquired 44 doors this year alone. Done about 60 deals in the Gator community. And it's just been crazy, man. It's just been completely insane. I love it. We're doing this challenge now. And so it's super important to like the importance of writing goals down is big. Brandon Turner actually did a goal setting summit last December. We joined that goal setting summit. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but it was like a 6 hour Zoom, man. It was crazy. We had a couple breaks, but it was really, really good. He was raising money for, I think, oh, what was that? The child trafficking organization. He was raising funds for that. And so he started some whole new organization. All the funds were going to that organization. And we decided we'd check it out. And I'm really glad we did. Who else here is big on goal setting, guys? Put a 1 in the chat if you're big on goal setting. We've got a small group today, but goal setting is important, guys. It's not, the cool thing about goals is it's not the end all be all, right? It's not, you can't set goals and go, oh, we lost Damon. Oh, there he is. I was gonna say, what happened to Damon? But setting goals is huge, right? It's not like the end all, but it's, you got, the important thing to me about setting goals is learning to, when you hit that goal, learning to making sure you have more goals. Like the goal isn't the end. It's just really the beginning. Once you hit that goal, before you even hit it, once you see it, coming, like you're getting close to hitting it, it's time to move the goalpost and start creating a bigger set of goals. We're starting to put in place way bigger goals than we ever have in our life because our mindset has changed. We believe in ourselves more. We're more confident than we've ever been. We're surrounded by great, great people, so, like things that I would have thought were crazy insane a couple years ago, we're like, I'm just going like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. I think we can accomplish this, with the amazing people that we're surrounded by. I mean, that's what gives you the confidence, getting deals locked in, closing deals, but just being around in these rooms with these great, great people doing these huge things. That's what's really, really rubbed off on me. And it's been pushing me to 10X my business, I think we all want to be, Damon's a good example of it. 100 doors, close to 100 doors,
Hey,
if
by
not
the way,
100
I'm
doors.
sorry, my internet for
That's
some
okay.
reason took a
I know.
crap, but I'm back. I'm
I
back.
noticed that. I was like, where the hell did Damon go? You disappeared and then you were gone. I was like, oh man.
Kick me out of the matrix.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
like
like,
it's
yes.
funny though, man, that you bring that up. Like
Mhm.
I think like everybody sets this goal, right? Like this many doors. Like I got
Mm,
to get here, and then and it's like
mhm.
funny. I think you reach a point where the doors stop making the difference, and it's more what you're talking about, right? Reaching a loftier goal.
Mhm.
Goes again.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Right? It's not so much the goal has changed to go from one house to co-living, right? Like, hey, I got one house, one door, so to speak, that I lease long term. Well, can I pull 8 rooms, maybe 10 rooms out of that house?
Mhm.
That's where I'm at now, right? The vision changes. Now it's, much like Lance said, I know for me, man, I have been so lucky over the course of my life to have people that were willing to pour into me.
Mm.
And having been in the military, I think it gives me, well, having been in the military and then, I got out and I ended up being a homeless vet for 4.5 years. I know what it is to have nothing. I'm a very kind of down to earth person. And I've always found myself calling upon people that know more than me. Hey, I'm really not smart on this thing. And can you show me this thing? And you have people like Pace or Lance or me or anybody really that you surround yourself with that's willing to make you better, right? Because one of the things that I always believe, being a jujitsu guy, much like Abraham in Sub 2, I'm a black belt in jujitsu. Jujitsu, everybody keeps trying to pit me and Abraham together. I don't know what's going on, but hey, I can't wait for that challenge because
I
I
want to
think
see that one. I want to see that one for sure.
Abraham's got his work cut out for him with me.
I'll
But
put 20 on you, dude.
yeah, man, I've been known to be pretty decent. But the point is, like, that iron sharpens iron, right? whenever I get into a room with these guys like Lance or Pace or Abraham, it's not like they hold it close to the chest. They're not holding it close to the hip. They pour it. As many questions as I have, they try to bring the best and most informative answer that they can. And so, yeah, man, like every year I find I don't know if you guys remember that old the Cat Williams special where he's like, and I paraphrase, right? Like where he's talking about the drug dealer and if this guy deals marijuana, I don't want to know him. I want to know the guy that's dealing cocaine the next year, right? Now I'm not saying that that's what we're going to do, but what I am saying is
Yeah.
I want to be around people that are doing better things next year than the things that they were doing this year. If you're standing still and you're not growing your business and you're not getting into something new, like what can I do with that, right? Because I can't stay still. I got to keep moving.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's why I take that 2 week period, which I'm sure we'll start talking about like goals and all that. But I was telling Lance, man, I save up all of my days off, everything. I don't take not one sick day. I pride myself on it. I work hard all year. And people will tell you I work hard, man. Like Lance works hard, I work hard. They all work hard, grinding every day. And I save it all up till the end of the year so that I can sit back and reflect on what I've done, um, how I got there, and where I'm headed into the next year. It's really, really important for me. I make a visualization of all of my goals, and I do keep them written on paper. They're in my desk drawer, and I reflect on them probably once a month at least. Like,
Nice.
you know,
I need to get better at that, man. For sure.
it's important, man.
It is.
It's
I agree.
important.
Yeah. 100%. Even if you can't take 2 weeks off, take a couple hours. I mean, honestly, dude, it's so important to at least get some downtime. Like I try and squeeze in 1 or 2 hours a week and I am writing a book. I got to shift that. I'm writing a
Damn, man,
book. Okay.
this guy's writing a book now.
I'm
I
writing a
love it.
book about my experience my wife and I went through, right? I want to help other relationships, other men out who are as boneheaded as I am, those knuckleheads out there who don't know how to listen. Um, and I was talking to my life coach, right? Thomas Fanner, who's coming on. He's turned into more of a life coach, right? And he has this amazing organization. It's called Dads Who Lead. He's really helped me rekindle my relationship with both of my kids over the course of this last year. Completely, excuse me, it changed things for me, like 100%, 180-degree, turnaround. But Thomas and I talk once a week. And yesterday or Tuesday morning, I was talking to him at 9 a.m. And I'm like, man, I'm doing all this thing. Pace is asking me to come do a training on networking. And I'm just like, but I'm not a teacher. And then a little later on, like 10 minutes later, I was talking about writing this book, but I'm not a writer. I need to find someone. And he goes, Lance, I need to stop you right there for a minute. He goes, you said a couple of things to me that I need to reiterate to you. He said, you're writing a book, but you just told me you're not a writer. You're doing training. Pace actually asked you to do trainings on networking, and you said you're not a teacher. And I was just like, whoa, dude. My own, like, and I'm like, I'm on the come up, right? I'm rising. I'm working hard, like Damon said, every day, busting my ass. I still have those self-limiting beliefs, man. And he just called me out on it. I was like, damn, I couldn't believe it. It was like, dude. So, I mean, it's just a testament though. Like we're all constantly growing and learning and having to shift and tweak our mindset, because I didn't even catch it that I was doing that, but I was like, dude, you're right. I read them. I actually have a first chapter. I have my chapters laid out, but that's a really important thing for me is to get that message out. I don't care about being a famous writer or any of that stuff. I just want to help people, right? That's what my mission is adding value. Like Damon said, just adding value every day as much as I can. And I feel like this book will be able to touch a lot of lives and save a lot of people from possible divorce and just who knows. But anyways,
Well, I
it's
I love
also,
that, man.
I think,
That's
thank
pretty
you.
amazing, man. Like,
I think one of the best ways to keep on your craft though is to teach, because it keeps you sharp. It keeps you,
Yeah.
thinking about what you're doing and honing your skill and talking about it all the time. And so,
Hmm.
you know, even if you don't see yourself as a teacher, teaching the person that is a few steps behind you goes a long way, and it feels good too, right? So I think you've been doing that, and you've been a teacher to a lot of people in the Gator community without even realizing it, right? Because you're helping people get their first deals and teaching them your process and having them come on here and learn some of the tips and tricks that I think we put out there. And so you are a
Hmm.
teacher in a lot of ways. So mindset
Thank you.
shift.
I appreciate that.
and
Yeah, I
and
appreciate
and
it.
by the way, make sure when you surround yourself with people that it's people that are happy for your success.
Totally.
Hmm.
Because I will tell you this, man, there are people out there that when you start to succeed, you know, they turn into the people that are like envious and
Oh
and and,
yeah.
and it's
There's a
crazy,
lot more
man.
of those out there, bro. Like a
Mhm.
lot of people. People are watching. People watch, and it's sad, but people want to see us fail. It's the truth. I mean,
Mm,
that's why Pace always talks shit about our family members and our friends. Calls the
mhm.
pieces. You need to get those pieces of shit out of your life. And I always laugh when he says it, but I know how true it is because I've been there. I've been there for years where I've pulled away as the black sheep in my family and done my own thing and being an entrepreneur, and you could just sense it, man. Like behind your back, they're talking shit, and it's like they just whatever it is, right? They just don't have those. They don't want you to win, right? They want you to pull you down to where they're at, to their level. It's sad, but it's true.
No, man, it's
So,
funny that well, it's funny that we bring that up in the self-limiting beliefs, right? Because I in my life, I know I've come such a long way, right? But I deal with my own self-limiting beliefs, right? Being a homeless vet, like I always play back to those things. People, I think, have told me, man, you should write a book with your story.
mhm.
And I always think to myself, like, why should I write a book, right? It's not really that big of a deal. It's just my life, right? I don't see it as anything special. I think it's cool that you do see your journey as special because some of the self-limiting beliefs for me really come from my own family, my upbringing, my
Mhm.
parents. My mom was that for me, and so it's a lifetime of those things that you're having to learn to walk away from so that you can believe in yourself and believe that those ginormous things that you never thought were possible are possible. And I often say now, I say it to my wife. I think I say it to quite a few people, man. Like, I can't even believe where I'm at now.
Mhm.
Sometimes, and I don't think of myself as anything special, but when if I look at when I'm so thankful when it comes to Christmas, right? I think sometimes people think like, oh man, he's just full of it. He always says that he's thankful, but no, I am, man. Like I have so much compared to people that have so little. I am
Mhm.
so lucky. I'm so blessed. Now
Mhm.
I've worked hard for all those things, have no doubt. Me and Lance can tell stories about hard manual labor and work in those days, right? Like
Mhm.
busting rocks in the sun. I've
Oh
I've
yeah.
done all of that,
Lots of those
but
days. Yeah.
yeah, man, like I make it a point now to really surround myself that with people that are happy for my happiness and my success. Like I am stoked over the moon for Lance, man. Like every time he tells me something new has happened and bigger and better, man, good. It's good. That's great, man. Like it's like Jocko Willink, right? Like good for everything that happens. Good, like. But anyways, man, yeah, I digress. Like, I'm happy for I'm happy for anybody that realizes their worth and does something with that. You know.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. Means a lot to me. Yeah, so goal setting, guys. Like, dude, if you're not
Let's
goal
talk.
setting, you're missing out big time. You've got to set goals, man. And don't hold back on the goals, right? I mean, I want to encourage everybody here to set some lofty goals. I mean, don't be ridiculous. Like, yeah, I want 5 Ferraris next year, but think about what you think you can do and then go bigger. Like, that's what I'm doing, big time. Cause I mean, we set some goals. I can't believe where we're at right now. I'm completely blown away. We were talking this time last year doing the elephant challenge, guys, for the multifamily. That's how we all met. And
Mm.
I would have never guessed in a million years that I'd be speaking to thousands of people on my computer. Like, never, ever, ever. And I'm naturally introverted too. So I had to figure that out earlier this year. I'm like, man, I'm just completely exhausted at the end of the day after all these Zoom calls, man. I can't figure it out. And I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's like, well, you're naturally introverted, right? I was like, yeah. He goes, well, dude, people who are extroverted get energized from that kind of stuff, like networking and talking to people. Those of us who are naturally introverts, we have to push ourselves to do this. And so we are completely exhausted. I could grind granite all day long and I'm not as tired as I am half the time doing this. I'm just completely wasted. I'm just like done, like shot,
Mm.
and I didn't realize that. But
Yeah. Ditto,
constantly
man.
pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. That's how you get to where you want to go, guys. We could tell you that 100%.
Ditto, man. I absolutely confer on that. I'm exhausted by the end of the day. I think my wife thinks that I just come in here and she's like, you just go in your office and you talk all day. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But
Justin, do you want to add anything,
but,
buddy?
I mean, what?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying
ahead.
if Justin wanted to add something. He's been kind of quiet over there.
You guys,
He's
you guys,
reading a book. He's shifting through his bookshelf right now. He's trying to find something.
Go ahead, Damon. What were you going to say, man?
Well, no, man, I was gonna say, like, let's talk about the goal setting, man. Like,
Yeah, let's do it.
why not get into it, man? Let's
Mhm.
so let's talk about you first, Lance. Like, how did you set up your goals for the year? So did you set like short-term, mid-term, long-term goals? Did you just set
Yep.
these massive lofty goals, which is the best when I hear people tell me like, I'm gonna own a private jet by the end of the year, like Grant Cardone, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay, you're living in a one-bedroom apartment right now, but all right,
Right? Driving a
shoot for the moon.
30-year-old
Shoot for the
30-year-old Civic.
right, yeah. Yeah, so let's
Yeah.
talk about how you put your goals together. I'll talk about how I did
I love
mine.
that. That's great. Yeah, and so I like to start kind of with the bigger goals. Like, so I was telling the guys when you zapped out, I think we did the goal setting summit with Brandon Turner last year, and we've done similar, but he had it really detailed. He had a 5-year plan, and then
Mhm.
like with anybody who knows how to set goals and really track your kind of KPIs is setting a big goal and then working backwards. So that's what we do. We set these big goals, and then we'll we put the 5-year goal in place to be completely financially free to do whatever we want. That's our big goal. And then every year we set other goals. So we kind of go from that 5-year plan, and then we go year to year. And so we really focused on excuse me, sorry about that. We go 1 year and then 90 days and then monthly and then weekly and then daily habits. That's kind of how we set our goals. And so one of the big goals was doing a podcast was one of my goals. I didn't think it would happen so quickly. And I'm glad it did. It's opened a lot of doors for me, I think. Another goal that I had was $20,000 a month by June, right? That was a big goal for me that I really wanted to hit, and we did it. We actually blew past it. We didn't blow past it in June, but September we more than doubled that, and I was completely ecstatic. I couldn't believe it. But it's not because we're focusing on the money. That's the thing. We're focusing on just helping other people. you know, and that's, I know Damon does a lot of that, and that's what Pace does all day long, and that's what a lot of people I've followed my whole life have done. Once I decided, me personally, that I was going to just focus on that, everything changed for me. So we go big goals and then we move back. And I know, Damon, you're way better at getting into the nuts and bolts of things. So I want to kind of let you kind of get into that part
And
of it, man.
I
No.
appreciate you for that, but yeah, I don't know if I'm good at it, but man, I'll take a stab at it.
I think you're way better. You're good at dissecting
only-
things. I'm not good at that.
Well, I mean, I only speak to the way maybe that I do it, right? Like you have your process, I have my
Yeah.
process. It makes neither wrong. It's
Yeah.
just, I know at the beginning of the year, I sit down, generally somewhere between January 1st and January the 5th, and I do a brainstorm. I put a piece of paper in front of me and I brainstorm, right? What are all the goals that I want to achieve, right? And they can be lofty goals, they can be short-term goals, they can be midterm goals. It doesn't matter what it is, but I put them all down on paper. And I basically have what I call a brain dump, right? And then what I do is I start list making, right, off of those goals. So, okay, now I've got all these goals. These are short term, these are midterm, these are long term. And I try to classify them, right? And then what I do is I mind map. And I take those goals and I mind map, right? So what I'll do is, like, for me this year, the big goal is going to be retire. So that everybody knows, right? I'm putting that out into the ether.
Yes.
This
Written
is
for you.
This is my year, because for anybody that knows me, like, I'm a real estate agent. I'm a contract software engineer for the Department of Veterans Affairs. It's more of my, I'm now a project manager. Funny, I'm trying to move out of that job and they keep promoting me. Why the hell they keep doing that? I have no idea, because I'm giving as little to that position as I possibly can every day. But yeah, they've moved me into a project management on that job. And so basically I manage now software engineers. So I'm kind of like I guess you call it a babysitter all day long. So I want to move out and retire from that babysitting role completely. And I want to just become a full-time investor. And so this year is my big year to get to a place where I have basically doubled what is either doubled or tripled what is my yearly income, right? So if you look at my yearly income being, around 250,000 a year, I want to at least double that in what I'm currently bringing in, right? So so if I take that goal and I put it in the center, I start to mind map off of that goal. That is my end game. Now, what are my short-term goals? Well, I know if I own 100 doors, maybe the goal in just residual income is an additional 20 properties for the year. Well, that's a short-term goal, right? Hey, or maybe that's a midterm goal, but hey, I want to attain these 20 properties for the year. How many of those properties need to be sub 2? How many of those properties need to be seller finance? How many of those down payments? How much capital is it going to take, right? So I start to funnel that process down until I know exactly, like, short-term goal. Okay, I know I need $300,000 in capital this year. I'm going to look at doing for instance, like on a property that I have, I'm going to look at taking $350,000 in equity on that property. I'm going to pull that out of a HELOC. I'm going to put that into a life insurance policy. Justin's going to help me with that. And then I'm going to throw that $350,000 back into the HELOC, right? And I'm going to be able to loan off of that insurance policy. So, okay, now I've got a map. You guys see how I'm kind of doing that? Like, I am putting together a very low level to high level map of exactly how I get there. So I look at 3 short term, 3 midterm, 1 long term. And if I attain any more than that, it is icing on the cake for me, right? So I'm always happy to overachieve, but so like last year, I hit just about every goal that I had except for the laundromat, which is what I was saying, right? But then I kind of look at the ecom business that we started, and I find that to be somewhere in between, right? I've got a business that's going to be bringing some residual income. We just need to grow that business to a point where it's bringing in the income that we think is commensurate. So, like that business will go into my goal setting for the year. Like, how do we grow that business? How do I get there in terms of properties? How do I get there in terms of private money lending, right? Like, anyways, but that's my process, Lance. Does that,
Yeah, that's good, man. I love that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can be as detailed as you want. I think it's important to be pretty detailed on it. I was kind of having a brain fart. I was gonna pull my wife up actually because she, she's half the brain, man. Like I get the surface stuff, she gets the nuts and bolts, the meat and potatoes of it. No, but yeah, we do the same thing. I mean, we chunk down the goals into bite-sized chunks. I think it's really important. That's the biggest takeaway. I think that you have to start off with some big lofty goals and be somewhat realistic. You can be ambitious but don't be completely ridiculous. Like you would say, like if you're living in a one bedroom apartment, you're probably not going to have a Learjet next year. Let's be real. Maybe you can have a new Toyota Camry though. I mean, but I'm serious. Like, make some goals that are going to push you out of your comfort zone. It's those daily incremental steps that are going to get you there. I think that's the biggest issue that I see with a lot of people is when they're looking at setting goals, or they're looking at where I'm at, where Damon's at, where Justin's at. They're like, man, how am I going to do that? How'd you do that in 1 year? I didn't do it in 1 year, really. It's the culmination of all the things that I've learned and everything I've gone through my whole life with the business experience, all the networking stuff I've done all my life. I just got to take all that experience and apply it into the community. And so it wasn't a 1 year thing, man. Like, trust me, it was years and years of learning how to network and meeting people, pushing myself constantly every single day out of my comfort zone to make this stuff happen. Cause it doesn't just happen. You're not just going to wave a magic wand. Or
Yeah, I often say, man, and maybe you feel the same way, Lance. Like I had a lot of years to figure out how I did business the wrong way.
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
like man, when I tell you guys, like
Yeah.
I've done three businesses, like, up to this point. I had a construction company that I sold. I've had a cleaning company that I sold. And it's funny, man. Like I did those businesses, holy shit, for lack of a better term, the wrong
Right.
way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of learning. And so, anyways, yeah, I took those failures though, and I lean into them, and I'm not scared to accept those failures,
Mhm.
and call them failures. And then really big for me, I learned how to turn those failures to successes.
Mhm.
So, hey, I kept the books the wrong way in that business before. Well, moving into this new business, how do I keep the books better in this one, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe I call upon somebody in a community like Paces, which there are tons of those people out there that, like, hey, I hear you're a bookkeeper. Will you do that for me? Can you do that service for me? Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to use an example. Like, so one of my goals this year was to get into better shape. And that's pretty broad, right? So when you set a goal like that, this is a really good example, actually, I think, for goal setting. You have to get detailed in your KPIs. That's like a huge part of it. So I want to get into shape, but what does that look like? You have to have that's a very broad goal. So rather than saying I wanted to get in shape, what do you want to do? What percentage of body fat do you want? What do you want your body to look like? What do you think, what's the goal weight that you want? And then figure out how you're going to obtain that. It's not just working out. I can tell you that you're going to have to start eating better. You know, you're gonna have to start eating healthy, eating, some raw vegetables, healthy diet, clean. I call it a clean diet, right, Damon? A clean diet. I try and eat clean.
Well, hey Lance, by the way, Ari Gerazonis, this is the whole reason why he showed up, because he looks like he's out there running a marathon
I
right now.
know, right? He does. That's right.
He
Out there
came just for this portion.
making his goals happen, man. But eating habits, like calorie intake, there's so many things you could do. How many times do you want to work out? Figuring out what your workout routine looks like. I have a pretty specific routine when I hit the gym that I know I'm going to go in there. I know I'm going to get like 15, 20 minutes of cardio. I know I'm going to hit the weights. I'm going to, work out my back because I got some back problems. So I'm going to strengthen those core muscles. I'm going to stretch. You know what I mean? So you're planning that out every day, and you got to get your ass out of bed to get to the gym. Yeah, that's the hardest part. Once I'm in the gym, I'm like, yeah, this feels good. I've set a goal to drop like 20 pounds, and I'm at 205. I think I've had to buy new jeans and new shirts because all my stuff, I look like I look like a little kid swimming in my stuff, man. But I feel great. My gut's smaller than it's been since I got married, 18 years ago, man.
Every
Thank
time
you.
I hear these things, man, I'm happy. So at our gym, we call that, so at the jiu-jitsu gym, like anybody that knows anything about jiu-jitsu, man, it's tough. Like it's a grind. Like we've got kids in our gym that are, heading to the UFC. We've got this guy, Bruce Whitehead, at our gym he's been training since he was 14, guys. And the guy is a pro fighter now. He just got out of college as a Division II wrestler. He is an absolute beast. Justin, when he came to Texas, came to the jiu-jitsu gym and trained a little bit with me. So, like what we call it is, man, it's tough and it's hard for people to hang in there. So one of the biggest things that you see is a huge turnover of white belts. And what we keep trying to tell them, guys, do not think of this as a sprint. This is a journey. You have to find your consistent.
Yep.
You have to find your consistent, whatever that is, right?
Exactly. Forming habits, man. That's really that consistency. It's the same thing with anything you do in your life. The only way you're really going to get traction and really hit those goals is that consistent action day in and day out, no matter what it is. Once you get the consistency locked in enough, I don't know what the timeline is. It's like 3 months, they say, to form a habit, something like that, right?
3 months. Yeah.
3 months to form a habit. And it's so easy though. Like you go out of town for a week and you don't hit the gym maybe, or you eat a bunch of crappy food and then trying to come back and get back on the plan. I mean, there's a lot that has to do in your head and your own thinking. So now when we go out of town, I'm not just going to go pig out, because I know I've done that so many times and fallen off and failed. I know now that I'm going to maybe not eat the best, but I'm not going to overeat, and I'm not going to just, gorge myself and eat late at night and all this stuff. So just creating those habits and sticking with it is really the key to hitting your goals. I mean, honestly, it's just that daily consistent action that Pace is constantly talking about. I mean, that is the key.
Quit complaining.
Yeah.
Because I'm so anybody that knows me, I'm the blunt one. I'm probably like the.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Like, look, after 3 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan, man, like being there for 12 months, for 18 months, no sleep, day after day. Look, man, I could easily sit there and complain, or else I just get my butt up and go do what I need to do, right? Stop your complaining, stop thinking of the reasons why you shouldn't, and just say, you know what? 1, 2, 3, I'm going to get off this couch and I'm going to go. Because, man,
exactly.
Yeah, we all have days that we don't want to do it, man. And some of those days, man, when I need that little extra motivation, like I always say, I'll go listen to Jocko Willink, his good speech, right? I've got problems, and he used to tell all the guys in his units that would come up and complain, man, I've got this problem, Jocko, good. Be glad that you have that problem. Good. Now figure out how to go and fix it. Right. So yeah, for me, man, I don't know how you feel, Lance, but man, I put those things into my head and I'm like, oh, what? I'm tired. Good. Like, man, God's given me one more day to just sit here and
Yeah.
complain and be tired. Maybe
Right.
I should get up and do something.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that actually is a good it actually is a good segue into the fact that like one of my favorite quotes as being an entrepreneur is this. It goes like this. It says it's what is it? Okay. Successful people do what they don't want to do when they don't want to do it. I love that quote, man. And I think about that a lot. Or the miners digging for the gold, the one gives up. Like some of those things are just burned in my brain. The donkey in the well, right? Stepping up and getting out, shaking it off and stepping up. I think about those things a lot when I want to quit and give up, but you can't. You just got to get up, man. Like it's like Damon said, when you start overthinking it, that's when you talk yourself out of it or just don't do it. Just sitting there thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. Just get up and go, man. Don't overthink it,
Mhm.
guys. Get up and go. But I have days at the gym where I'm like, this sucks. I do not want to be here, or work
You
too,
always walk
especially. I just
away.
want to
You always walk away
quit.
feeling good though, right?
Oh yeah, dude. At
Yeah.
the end of it, even some days it's like, you just like, God, that sucked. But
Yeah.
yeah, most of the time, 99% of the time, yes, absolutely.
Oh, even on the day.
I think the discussion about, health sort of brings up, I like to categorize goals. We all talk about our financial goals here a lot, but I feel like there's really 5 categories of goals,
Yep. Mhm.
family, health, personal, professional, and financial.
That's
Right.
true.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I love Damon's process of mind mapping
Mhm.
and you can really do that with all of those categories because you could be extremely financially free and just on top of the world, but if those other 4 categories aren't in balance, then you're going to be miserable, right? So if your family life is you're working on that, trying to spend more time with your family, trying to create a positive atmosphere in your home. With your health, you're trying to continually eat healthy and work out. In your personal life, it might be a person like live work balance, and really trying to skew that towards having more time to do the things you want to do professionally. I mean, getting out of the 9 to 5 might be your goal, or it might just be hitting those goals within that.
Mhm.
So I think it's really important to try to balance all those categories,
That's a good point.
Mhm.
Thank you for bringing
Yeah.
that up, man. That was great.
Well,
I
man, and I
agree.
was gonna add, man, like even on the days that it sucks, like because we all have those. Like, man, I was struggling to get up and go to the gym. Well, then I'm proud of myself that I made myself go to the gym. But then even when I go to the gym, it still sucked, man.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are the days.
Yeah.
Those are the days though that I say, but at least I did it.
Yep.
At least I did it.
Yeah,
And I feel
exactly.
good about myself for overcoming the difficult nature of just getting there, right?
Yep. That's it.
Because isn't that half the battle, right?
Oh yeah, dude, that is. Yeah.
Some days, as an entrepreneur, man, and I think you said this, Lance, and you say it best. Like some days it's just hard to get up.
Hmm. Yeah, it is,
Just
man.
hard to get up and
It's
get in
true.
front of your computer, man. Like,
Especially when your
yeah,
wife does not want to go. Like we're workout buddies, and she's on here right now. She's like, "Oh, come on." She tries to bribe me, guys. And I'm like, "Hey, come on now."
yeah,
Sometimes I'm like, "Okay, you can bribe me, but I'm still going. You can stay home."
that's
Right.
right.
But yeah, it's we have fun. It's fun. She's always way, in better shape than me anyways. Like my metabolism isn't as fast. So but yeah, it is, man. Like there's a lot of days where you just don't feel like doing it, especially when you work as hard as we do. You're just like, I just want to be a bum and sit on the couch today. But No.
Well, I mean, end of the day, right? Goal setting is about growth. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really at the end of the day, right? Like you plan all these things out, whether you hit them or not, you're trying to grow to that point. And yeah, if you're sitting on the couch doing nothing, you can't grow,
Mhm.
right? You're just stagnant, you know?
I can't believe we've already been here. It's already 7:06. That's nuts.
Oh
I've been
man.
having such a good time tonight. We're hanging out, guys.
These are, honestly, man, like I think these are the best podcasts that we have. We bring all these guests on, but I kind
Yeah.
of like it when we go back to the beginning and we're just it's just
Roots.
us sitting here talking. Yeah.
I do too. I think it's important to have like we were talking about it recently, when we were talking when at our meeting on our Friday meeting, we were talking about doing maybe one every other month or something where we just plan it, just us.
And that's
Hang
part of
out.
the goals, man. That's
Hmm.
part of goals right there. Maybe that's what we do. We
Yeah.
change it up. Well, so let's look to wrap it, man.
Yeah.
Like let's talk about goals. Lance, you think
Yes.
maybe you want to hit on your top three goals for the year, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are your top three?
I want to get just, I mean, I'm looking to get a little bulked up, not too much, but definitely looking to take off for health wise, 5 more pounds. I want to be at 200 even. I'm already at like I said, my jeans, I have to wear belts and stuff. And so like, I want to shave most of what's left of my belly and just start cutting up a little bit. That's a big goal for me. And so 5 days a week at the gym consistently. That I've struggled a little bit, right? Three to
I love
five
that.
days. Anyway, but a really big goal that I want to hit is it's going to be crazy, but I want to hit $100,000 a month in revenue, and I know that's insane, but I want to do it. So I can't do it by myself. You know what I mean? Oh, she says,
Nope.
"Don't, my wife, don't lose that dad bod." She likes a little fluffy, and that's okay. I'll keep a little cushion, honey.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Another big goal is going to be, I don't know, in real estate, I want to do. I mean, there's a lot I want to do. I think the cool thing is there's such a broad spectrum, right? And we've got a few things dialed in, so we can start moving into some different areas like co-living, small multifamily. But definitely a big goal for this year is going to be to re-wed my beautiful bride. We were supposed to renew our vows this year, and we didn't get a chance to because we were so damn busy. So going to Mexico to renew our vows is going to be a big goal for us this year.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I love that. All great goals. Justin, how about you, man?
Yeah. Well, financially and professionally, I think, a big step for me this year was stepping away from my full-time job and being able to invest full time.
Hey,
And so started three businesses, closed on 65 units, multifamily. So I'm part owner of 65 units. And really, in reflection is where I'm going is really to work on our financial standing. And so, we really sat down and looked at that and opened up some whole life insurance policies that we can invest out of and really grow our wealth that way. And we're planning to open some for our children. So that's a goal for next year.
Mm.
So that, every step of the way in their life, they have some financial standing to, pay for college, pay for vehicles, maybe buy their first house. With my and then professionally as well, Damon and I are planning on doing some co-living. We've started a e-commerce brand, so we're really looking to grow that. I want to continue, really growing the syndication business. I have a lofty goal of raising $10 million towards syndications and funds.
Nice.
And yeah, and I'm currently working on some, courses around passively investing. I want to create a course around family financial planning, and really start to instill that with my children. So, and all that sort of ties into raising the money and for the funds and syndications, and then, I want to travel more. I want to spend more time with family. And yeah, with health, it's always just being more consistent with working out and getting in shape. And as we age, like you, Lance, I've got back problems, and I just want to get strong and have a strong body for all the things I like to do, all the outdoor activities and all that. So I look forward to sitting down and mind mapping that, as Damon said, and really I've been taking the last part of this year and really working and planning and trying to get the systems and processes in place so that I can launch into those goals next year. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Love it.
Thank you.
Well, I'll wrap it up, man. I'll
Okay,
wrap
man.
it up. So as you guys all heard, my lofty goal for the year is an official retirement. What will put me there is a minimum of $500,000 a year in income. So I'm working on getting there, right? How am I going to do that, right? So my short-term goals, as always, are consistent working out versus doing my workouts in the afternoons. I'm going to try to start getting myself up like I used to in the military at 5:30 in the morning and knocking out an hour and a half workout. So I'll be able to do my weights, my running, all of that, which will then lead me into being consistent with coming into my office and having an hour of personal time. So I want to focus on myself more so that I can get my mental space right to be able to do that. One of the goals, which is short term that we're already working on, is finding the liquidity to be able to get us to that goal. I think we have done that with the 300,000 in equity. We'll be looking to put that into a life insurance policy. I think that we can make that happen pretty quickly. So that's a short term and easy goal to hit. And then, of course, the short term goal is the e-commerce business that I started with Justin here. I want to work to grow that to first $5,000 a month, and then grow that from there, with hoping to be at $10,000 a month, with a total of $100,000 minimum, right, in revenue for the year, right? I'm just setting a small, what I feel is an attainable goal, but I do feel like we could probably blow that out of the water if we really, really concentrate hard on that business. So those are my three main, as always, working well with, my toughest thing, as I've told Lance, being a vet, guys, I'm pretty honest with the fact I suffer from PTSD. I'm rough around the edges. I'm a blunt guy, man. Me and my wife, me and my family, I'm always having to focus on bringing myself closer to them because I tend to be a very removed type of person, right? I spent years in a combat MOS, and I am okay with, going out to the woods for months on end and being by myself. It's not okay. All right. You can't do that, right? As a father and a husband, you have to give pieces of yourself to them, right? It is your obligation as a father. So yeah, that's a short-term goal for me, man. Get closer to my family, and I think that's
Nice.
kind of for my
Awesome,
year
dude.
where I'm headed. Yeah.
Nothing more important than that. I love
Nothing. Yeah.
that.
It's a
Cool,
constant
guys. Well,
right,
it's
man.
been an epic year. We've got 1,400 members in our Facebook group now.
Isn't that
So,
crazy, man?
It's wild.
And
man.
we started with a big goose egg, by the way.
Oh yeah.
A big
Yeah.
goose egg, yeah. Yeah.
Lots of things coming. Lots of big things coming, guys.
And I
Catch us
just
next
want to
week
say,
for Thomas Fanner, Dads Who Lead. It's going to be really good.
yeah, I just want to say, since I never touch on it, guys, please go like our Facebook, go like our Instagram, go like our YouTube. I don't have all of the links to it, but normally Lance is the one that gets that, man, and I had to steal
No,
it
he's
from him
not.
to show that I'm trying to
I
be
do
better.
when I was on my phone, bro. Now Justin gets to do it.
Yeah, so
Justin didn't have them last
please,
time.
yeah, for any of you guys that have friends, family, whatever, man, hey, pass this podcast on to them. We are planning on making it bigger and better this year, having more guests. But one thing that I want to end this year on, and I wanted to say because I do not get enough time to say it, man, Lance, I'm thankful for you, brother. I appreciate you believing in this from the beginning and giving of yourself, giving of your time over the course of the year, hanging in there through the bumps, man. You've been a champ. But I appreciate you, man, for everything that you do.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you too, man.
And
I really do.
same for you, Justin. I appreciate you, man, for all the stuff these guys put up with me and Busy and with the podcast and all, man. Just guys, look, we struggle too, and I'm so thankful for the both of you guys. You're awesome partners to have and call on, and I know that you're there at any moment that I might need you. And finally, I am thankful for all of the guests that come on here and give us our time, man.
Mhm.
Every week, you guys come and give us a little piece of your time. We appreciate you all for spending this year with us. Lance, do you have anything to add to that?
I
know-
want to give a shout out to our buddy Juan Padilla. He couldn't be here tonight. He's got some family in town, or he's taking his wife on a special date. So we love Juan too. He's been a crucial part of the group. We missed
That's
him
right.
tonight, but I am just extremely blessed to be part of this, and I know we're all gonna kill it in 2024. You guys just stay consistent and stick with us. And we'll get there. We're all going to get there. We're going to get to the top of the mountain together.
And also, if
So-
anybody needs help with goal setting, reach out to us, right? I mean, we're here to help. That's why we started this in the first place. So we're always here to help anybody who needs a little, kick in the pants, or
Oh yeah,
a shoulder to cry on, or a little blunt love from Damon.
Yeah, man, I'm here every day for that. Yeah, so anyways, guys, I'll end it, man. Thank you all. We appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And we look forward to seeing you guys in the next year. Take care of yourselves.
Merry Christmas
All right.
and Happy New Year. All right, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, bye.